Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Rockford firefighters battle an overnight blaze. The fire shut down part of South Main Street.
A DeKalb County man is honored for his service to the community. His 5 decades of volunteering often involved helping his friends in life or death situations.
And the Better Business Bureau warns of a new scam involving refurbished products, how you can protect yourself online. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson.
No one is hurt after a house is fully engulfed in flames overnight.
Around 1, Rockford fire crews were called to South Main Street just north of Island Avenue. When first responders arrived, flames on the first floor were already spreading to the second floor. The siding on the homes on either side of this building was starting to melt. Once firefighters got things under control, the house had major damage. It's being torn down. Buildings nearby had minor cosmetic damage. The total loss on the house is about $15,000. Investigators are looking into a cause. Belvedere crews also dealt with an early morning blaze. This one was around 5 at Union Avenue, just west of Pearl Street. The initial report said people were trapped. Flames were shooting from the second floor when first responders arrived. Firefighters had things under control in about 10 minutes. No one was hurt. Red Cross is helping the residents with a place to stay. Damage is estimated at $50,000. Investigators are also still looking into a cause for this fire. One local firefighter has seen quite a few calls like those during his decades of service. Today, he earned some special recognition.
Our Nicole Delgado was there for the surprise. And Nicole, how'd this all come about?
Well, Eric and Mimi, last month the State Fire Marshal awarded the Kirkland Fire Department with a grant for some small equipment. That's when the beans were spilled that it is Lieutenant Jim Sewer's 50th year as a volunteer firefighter.
It's an honor. It really is. It's a big honor. I didn't expect it.
Lieutenant Jim Sewer was born and raised in Kirkland. After seeing a big fire as a kid, he knew he wanted to be the one helping fight fires. He became one of the first 6 original EMTs that started the ambulance service in Kirkland. Now the Kirkland Community Fire District and Illinois State Fire Marshal are honoring him.
I don't need it. I love doing what I do. I love being out here. I love the people. I love the job. And it's fun.
Illinois State Fire Marshal PIO J.C. Foltz presented Lieutenant Sewer with a plaque for his 50 years of service. 70% of Illinois fire service is volunteer, which is why Foltz believes it's important to celebrate and honor those who reach these milestones.
They're responding to someone's worst day to help them out, to make that better for them and to help their community. Because if it wasn't for these folks, who knows who's there for you in the middle of the night, right? I mean, who's going to show up to your door when there's an emergency? That's why it's a thankless job, but they do it because they love it and they're passionate about it.
Kirkland Chief Chad Connell has worked with Lieutenant Sewer for 23 years, and he hopes he stays as long as possible.
Jim here is just such a huge asset to us. Younger generation, people coming into the department. Jimmy is a world of knowledge, and it works for all of us. So yeah, the longer we can keep Jimmy here, the better off we are.
Sewer tells me he loves being able to help his community, and he hopes to inspire others to become a volunteer firefighter.
I guess you don't even realize it, you know. I mean, I'm proud of it, but you just don't think about it. I don't, anyway. I just still come out here every day. When the pager goes off, you got to go. It's still exciting to me.
Jim tells me as long as he's healthy, he will keep doing what he loves, being a firefighter. Eric?
That department is lucky to have him. Thanks, Nicole. Planned Parenthood says the number of people seeking abortion care increased since the end of Roe v. Wade a year ago. The agency's seen a 54% jump, but the number of people coming from out of state has skyrocketed. Before Roe v. Wade's overturning, 7% of patients were from outside Illinois. Now it's 25%. Those seeking care have come from 34 different states across the country.
We know that the reason that people are traveling here is not because they want to. It is because they are being forced to. Ideally, we would want everyone to get the care that they need and deserve where they live. They should not be forced to travel.
The organization's also seen people coming in for abortion procedures further along in their pregnancies. 13% of all procedural abortions are from women who are 16 weeks pregnant or more. That's up from 8% before Roe v. Wade's overturning.
The Better Business Bureau warns people to be alert for potential scams while buying refurbished items. The BBB's received reports of con artists ripping off customers by promising a great deal on like-new devices that are never delivered. The website looks legit, and they're selling a high-dollar item for a price that fits your budget. You decide to purchase it through the website or a payment app, but you never receive a shipping confirmation and the website never gets back to you. Experts say carefully examine the site before making a purchase and make sure it's not fake. Not only should it have quality photos and typo-free content, but it should also have working contact information.
Federal numbers show the inflation rate shrinking, but we're still paying more for things. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports consumer prices last month rose 4% over May 2022. That's the slowest annual pace since March 2021. It's also the 11th straight month inflation has slowed. A drop in energy prices and a dip in food price hikes helped bring down the number. The Federal Reserve meets tomorrow to discuss whether to raise interest rates. If you live in Belvidere and need a place to take your kids to enjoy the outdoors, you have another option.
City leaders held a ribbon cutting for a brand new playground. The playground's located at Doty Park on West Locust Street. City of Belvidere officials and the Belvidere Area Chamber of Commerce took part in the event. The playground site offers structures for both younger and older kids. The older kids' playground is one of the tallest in the city. On top of the new sets, there's also a 6-swing set, including an ADA and a tot seat.
The big reason we started this project was our original playground was put in the early 90s and it's met its lifespan. So we felt it was time to upgrade and give the community a new playground.
Their spray ground opened last month, and it's open every day from 9 in the morning until 8 p.m. History unfolded earlier this afternoon as former President Donald Trump was arrested, fingerprinted, and arraigned on federal criminal charges in a Miami courthouse.
The former president entered a not guilty plea. He denies all wrongdoing. Federal prosecutors accuse him of mishandling and refusing to return sensitive documents containing national defense secrets. ABC's Rena Roy recaps the day in court.
The former president of the United States now officially arrested and formally arraigned on a slew of federal criminal charges. Donald Trump's motorcade spotted leaving the federal courthouse after his attorney Todd Blanche entered a not guilty plea on behalf of the former president to the 37-count indictment against him. Charges under the Espionage Act and obstruction statutes that potentially carry decades in prison if he's convicted. Trump was in the courtroom for about an hour and didn't utter a single word, seen frowning and slumped in his chair, mostly staring at the floor. For the first time, seeing special counsel Jack Smith face to face. The magistrate judge ordering Trump not to speak about this case or have contact with any witnesses unless it's through his legal counsel.
We're just at the beginning of what's going to be a long process, but it's going to be up to the former president to decide how this case goes.
Though Trump didn't take a mugshot and wasn't handcuffed, he was processed like any other criminal defendant. Fingerprinted, giving his name and social security number to authorities.
He does not want this trial to come anytime soon. He wants to get back on the campaign trail. He wants to paint this as a victim. Any way to tell people, this is my target. They're coming at me.
Meanwhile, outside the courthouse, heightened security after Trump called on his supporters to protest.
We're out here, we're supporting you. Don't give up. No retreat, no surrender.
Some opponents also showing up.
He should have been locked up a long time ago.
Federal prosecutors allege Trump improperly stored dozens of classified government documents at his Mar-a-Lago resort that he knew were not authorized to keep, claiming he even schemed to obstruct the investigation. Officials say some of those documents contained top-secret nuclear weapon and other national defense information. Trump's co-defendant, aide Walt Nauta, did not enter a plea because he didn't have local counsel to represent him. Now that Trump has officially been arraigned, he'll be heading to Bedminster, New Jersey, where he'll be speaking this evening to supporters. Rena Roy, ABC News, Miami.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, we've had some rainfall from time to time, a little break here and there, but we are starting to see some of those rain showers kind of rotate back in here from the north, moving in from Wisconsin back down across far northern Illinois. A few lighter showers working just to the north here of Rockford. Once you get up towards Loves Park, McChesney Park, Roscoe, Rockton, South Beloit, you've got a couple of sprinkles, a few light showers moving in. Same thing out towards Belvedere and then in through McHenry County. Actually had some heavier rainfall very briefly move through parts of Boone and McHenry County. Drier skies off to the west of us. May see a sprinkle or two here as we go through this evening, but otherwise speaking, things will stay a little more dry to the west and south there of Rockford. We still do have the cloud cover. Had some breaks in some of the clouds, and you can even see a couple of lighter rain showers come in as our winds continue here from the northwest late this afternoon. Rainfall totals, they haven't been much. Our weather watcher Ken down in Esmond said they just got under 4/10 of an inch of rain there in northern DeKalb County, so that is nice. We've had just under a quarter of an inch here in Rockford, other locations picking up less than 1/10 of an inch. So we're slowly, very, very slowly putting a little tiny dent in that rainfall deficit that we have accumulated. And after today, rainfall chances look to kind of be few and far between over the next several days. We are up to 75 right now in Freeport. You're 76 here in Rockford. So that number has gone up with some clearing that took place earlier. 78 in Galena, still at 71 though in DeKalb, and 67 our temperature out in Poplar Grove. 69 for our weather watcher Terry down in Genoa. So in northern DeKalb County, westerly wind at 12 miles per hour has had so far under 1/10 of an inch. So not quite as much as some locations. Now we are going to hang on to some of these showers through at least the 8 o'clock hour, and then we'll start to dry skies out and clear skies out overnight tonight. Temperatures are back down into the 50s tonight. We'll see sunshine for our Wednesday. Most of Wednesday is looking dry. Winds will continue from the north. We'll see some clouds build up going into the afternoon. Winds won't be as gusty as what they have been today. Isolated, very isolated shower chance possible tomorrow afternoon. Cold front comes in on Thursday. This is another backdoor cold front. Ahead of that, our winds are from the south. Behind that, winds will turn to the north and east. So with that southerly wind on Thursday, it'll bring our temperatures back into the 80s. So we're warming up. And I think tomorrow we are back into the 80s as well. But watch what happens as we get into the afternoon. As that cold front pushes on shore, temperatures will begin to drop, and then that cooler air pushes inland by the time we get into Thursday evening and Thursday night. So we get a little dip in that temperature, but with that we get another ridge of high pressure building as we get back into the weekend. So this will bring those temperatures back up, and highs are back into the 80s, more summer-like warmth and heat coming up by the time we get into the middle of next week. So 54 degrees for us tonight. A few evening showers out there, mostly cloudy skies turning partly cloudy, a mix of sun and clouds, a little more cloud cover then by tomorrow afternoon. High temperatures right around 82. What you might notice tomorrow is a little more haze as some of that smoke gets wrapped back in. So some hazy skies possible on Wednesday. Same thing then for Friday. But guys, we're in the 80s here straight through the weekend.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
Bears are going through a full-scale mini-camp this week in Lake Forest, and safety Eddie Jackson is a full participant. He's coming off foot surgery that cost him the last 5 games of last season. Today was the first day that Jackson participated in team drills since that injury, and he doesn't want to miss any more time.
You know, we can't waste them. So every year I feel like I go out there, you know, I got to lead the right way. I got to lead by example, go out there and play the best ball that I can, and go out there and make plays. You know, we got a young team, you know, and I just feel like a lot of those guys, they look at me, especially in the secondary. So how I act, how I go out there, how I perform, you know, I feel like we feed off that.
The New York Jets continue to look like the Packers of the AFC. Now former Packers safety Adrian Amos has signed with the Jets for 1 year. He joins Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, Billy Turner, and a certain quarterback in New York. And the Cubs and White Sox will be back in action tonight. The Cubs will host the Pirates at 7:05. This is the first meeting of the season for these two teams. The White Sox play in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Lance Lynn will start on the mound for the White Sox. The women's basketball coaches at Rock Valley College are very optimistic about next season, and one reason why is the return of sophomore forward Maya Mitchell. She has just been named one of the top 40 junior college rising sophomores in the entire country at all levels of junior college. She'll get to play in an all-star game next month in Atlanta. Last season, Mitchell averaged 12 points in 22 games after battling through an injury. She was pumped about the honor.
I was really shocked about it because I was out for a whole month with my broken wrist. I was so excited when I heard the news. The first thing I did was call my teammate Cam because she had that last year. I asked her what her experience was and stuff, and I'm just so excited to get the opportunity to play in Atlanta.
It's a big honor. This is something that she's worked for, and credit to her teammates who push her every day, and who continue to uplift her, and she embraces them, and she's taken this and ran with it.
Mitchell is the third Rock Valley player to be named a top 40 sophomore in the last 4 years, joining Hannah Malcolmson and Cameron Blank. That's sports. We'll be right back.
A News Nation special report. President Trump faces federal charges in Florida, and News Nation has complete team coverage. Join Elizabeth Vargas, Chris Cuomo, Dan Abrams, and Leland Vitter for a discussion on the day's unprecedented proceedings, following the facts wherever they lead. Plus, expert legal and political analysis. What the former president could be facing next in the courtroom and in the court of public opinion heading into 2024. In a News Nation special report, tonight at 8 p.m. 7 Central on News Nation. To find News Nation, go to joinnn.com.
Our first WARN Interactive Radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. We've got a couple of showers moving across portions of northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin. We'll see a couple of sprinkles, a light rain shower or two here as we go through this evening. This will last for about 8 o'clock. For some, may linger a little longer. Skies will then clear out. Temperatures in the 50s, low 80s next couple of days.
All right, thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some time with us. Stay safe.